Welcome everyone to the House of Wellness. Today we look at dieting and reveal where those lost kilos really go.
Body functions, that's how it sort of is.
So we crap it out, is what you're saying?
Yes, okay.
Plus, we find out the effect of sitting down all day. It's more than a pain in the behind.
And later we go behind the scenes to find out the truth about vitamins.
And this is where the magic happens.
It's a show packed with inspiration, nutrition and advice on living the best life you can.
Enjoy yourself. You only live once.
So let's all get well, stay well, live well and look fabulous.
Right here in the House of Wellness. Hello to you, welcome everyone watching. Joining us again today is the multitasking mum, Giaan Rooney. Hi.
Oh, thank you, Ed. Now, coming up today, a tip for all busy mums like myself. A story on vitamins and their importance to your health. It's a must-watch.
Absolutely, and a big welcome to our pharmacist and all-round nice guy, the GQ, Gerald Quigley.
Thank you, Ed. Hello, Giaan. I want to talk today about vitamin D, probably one of the most underrated important nutrients that we can even think about, and that's coming up on the A to Z of vitamins.
Can't wait to find out about that. Also, we need to say a special hello to Zoe Marshall and her beautiful baby boy, Fox, who's arrived recently.
Oh, welcome to the Mothers Club, Zoe.
Yes,
how exciting.
Best club in town. Family's doing well. There's a lovely little snapshot of Mum and Bub on screen. Little Foxy. Fantastic.
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Well, let's get into it. In a country where the sun-bronzed healthy lifestyle is on every postcard, it's surprising to hear that almost 2/3 of Australians are overweight or obese.
Wow, that is a scary stat. So joining us today to go deeper into this era of excess weight is Jo Stanley. Hi, Jo.
Hi, how are you going?
Good.
Yes, it is alarming to think about our weight epidemic and the fact that more and more Australians are turning to weight loss diets than ever before. But here's a question for you. When we lose weight, do you know where it goes?
No.
It's a really tricky question, so I went and found out. Life is full of surprises. There are bad surprises like stepping in dog poo in bare feet. And there are good surprises like finding out dark chocolate is good for you. Well, I just found out some very surprising facts about weight loss that blew my mind. As a species, humans are in the middle of an obesity epidemic. So with over 1 billion adults overweight globally, weight loss stands a good chance of being the most talked about topic on the planet. But do we really understand what we're all talking about? Because when you look at how many people are trying to sell us miracle cures, sketchy technology and quick fix diets, there's too much to be gained by keeping us all misinformed and confused. So with the truth in mind, let's start with the most basic question there is. When somebody loses weight, where does it go?
I don't really know where it goes. It's a good question. I've never thought about that.
Out into the universe.
Through sweat, maybe?
Your body functions, that's how it sort of is.
So we crap it out, is what you're saying?
Yes, okay.
It's a simple question. Do you know the answer? Well, to the 2.3 million Australians dieting to lose weight in 2017, the truth may come as a surprise. So let's bring in an expert. Holly Louise is a personal trainer, registered pharmacist and weight loss coach.
When fat is broken down, 15% of it forms water, which then leaves our body in the form of sweat, urine, tears, and other bodily fluids. And the remaining 85% forms carbon dioxide, which is then exhaled through the lungs.
So there you have it. Truth number one. When you lose weight, you actually exhale the lost fat through your mouth.
Oh, there you go.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and start breathing lots.
So the question is, how much do we need to breathe out to lose weight? For every 10 kilograms of fat you lose on the scale, 8.4 kilograms is actually lost out of your mouth when you exhale. And according to my calculations, this room full of balloons has around the same CO2 as a burger and fries would convert to. And now for the second amazing truth about weight loss. Body fat isn't just energy storage. It works like an organ and secretes hormones that affect how we think and feel. That means if you put on weight, your fat will conspire with your brain to make it as hard as possible for you to lose that weight. So when it comes to weight loss, putting your faith in mass-marketed quick fixes is pointless.
So many people think that to lose weight you have to go hard and fast and almost nearly kill yourself, when really you should take it slowly at your own pace, expect it to take some time and be kind to yourself.
Okay, now for our third home truth about weight loss. Did you know that the average Aussie woman spends 31 years dieting? And one woman has tried it all, is Cassie Howland.
I have done shake supplements, so tried to exclude food as such and just replace it with a shake. Dabbled in paleo for a little bit. Yeah, low carb, high protein, maximum exercise, you name it. I've definitely tried it.
As a mother of two living the happily ever after in the burbs, she's been struggling with her weight since she was 14.
And what do you describe as struggling with your weight? What does that mean?
Yeah, good question. I'm not entirely comfortable in my own body. I can't just chuck on a pair of shorts, go outside, do whatever I want to do. I'm always quite aware of, my body and how I look and, that sort of thing.
In 2018, Australians are expected to spend over $641 million on weight loss counselling, and unfortunately, 95% of those recommended diets will fail. But Holly truly believes she's found the solution. It's a revolutionary way of eating called flexible dieting. It's all about tailoring your individual needs to suit your lifestyle. The key to the 80-20 approach is that there are zero food restrictions. It's all about developing a healthy relationship with the food you eat.
80% of our diet should be made up of whole, unprocessed, nutritious foods that are going to give our bodies the vitamins and minerals that it needs. But that leaves 20% for the more fun, delicious foods like this ice cream.
I prefer to use my 20% for alcohol.
And that's fine. There's no problem with that, as long as it fits within your personal calorie budget.
Oh, it fits. I wedge it in there, let me tell you.
Which brings us to our last and most important truth about weight loss. There are no magical foods or ways to combine foods that melt away excess body fat. To reduce your weight, you need to make small, sustainable changes to your lifestyle. Cassie's just started using Holly's 80-20 approach. She's losing about half a kilo per week. But most importantly, her relationship to her diet now feels sustainable.
What do you use for your 20%?
Oh, look. Wouldn't say no to a Kit Kat, obviously. But by incorporating those little cheap treats into your everyday, it just stops those big blowouts and the binges.
Oh, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Jo, I want you to rethink your 20% allotment.
No, why? I can use my 20% how I choose.
I love it how you said, I will make it fit. It will fit.
I'm committed to that.
But this is one of the great mysteries solved now. We breathe it out.
Yes, I did not know that. But unfortunately, you still have to exercise, Ed. You can't just sit around blowing up balloons.
Okay.
Right? You have to actually go and do the work, and then it will convert fat into carbon dioxide.
Great story.
Okay, depressing fact for me, 31 years of dieting.
Isn't that devastating?
Exhausting.
It's exhausting, but also you just think what it's doing for your emotional makeup, like that's constant 31 years of failure when all it is sustainable, healthy eating and exercise.
All right, well, let's check in with Cassie from that story. She's going to join us via Skype now. Hello, Cassie. How are you going? You've tried a lot of different options, as we've seen. Where are you at right now?
Currently walking to work.
Yes.
Out of the street.
But with your weight loss endeavours, how's that going?
Hilarious. Yeah, look, going really, really well. I've been working with Holly with the flexible dieting for 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks, and I've dropped over 5.5 kilos.
Oh, congratulations.
Fantastic.
That's
Yes.
so great.
So, Cassie, for you, how does your attitude towards this diet differ from others you've tried in the past?
It it doesn't feel like a diet, which is the main thing. We have just made small changes as a family, and it just honestly feels sustainable. It has not been hard.
And when you talk about the changes for your whole family, have they been a little resistant on this? Are they pushing more for 20% than the 80%?
Oh, kids always push for that 20%. I'm quite lucky in that my kids will happily try new things. They're open to snacking on veggies and that sort of thing. So they've been fine. My husband was probably a little bit harder, but he's been so supportive, and he's jumped right on board. We're doing really well.
You are doing exceptionally well, Cassie. Congratulations to you and your family, and we're wishing everyone who's out there dieting the best of luck.
Well done indeed.
I learnt a lot. Great story, Joe.
Thanks.
And remember, you'll find loads more information and fascinating facts like that at our website, with a portal to all our health, radio, TV and magazines. Just head to houseofwellness.com.au.
Or if you like, you can call us, 1800 469 788.
Facebook fans, we haven't forgotten about you. You'll find something new daily for everyone. The House of Wellness is where you need to head. Now, coming up on our House Heroes this week, a story that made me realise how lucky I've been with my own health. Here's a young athlete struck down with testicular cancer, but it's what he achieved after the diagnosis that will amaze you.
And later, we look into what vitamins really do for you.
They all have some level of therapeutic benefit in our body.
Coming up, we find out how your desk job is affecting your buttocks and learn about dormant bottom syndrome. Yep, make this up, it's a thing. Stick around, we're the House of Wellness.
Probably the worst moment of my life was when I was 22. I'd just gotten back from Europe and I went to the doctor to get checked up on a lump that I had in my testicle. I can remember walking out of the specialist's room when he confirmed it, and I think I did break down and cry for a few minutes. With the surgery, they remove a testicle. Fathering children naturally, all those things actually did scare me quite a bit, as I wanted to have kids. I was single at the time, so potential future partners, I guess, it was embarrassing to a degree to open up about.
I believe in fate because, well, it's brought me and Matt together, everything that's happened in our lives. When I told Matt that I was pregnant, we were actually sleeping.
And I didn't believe her, to be honest. I just said, yeah, whatever, and rolled back to sleep.
So I don't think he really responded the way that I was hoping.
And then I woke up the next morning and was shocked, I think, and a bit scared, and had to ask her if she actually told me that, because I wasn't 100% that I was dreaming or that it was really true. I love being a father to Harley and setting a good example for him and playing with him. I'm training people from all over the world now online and showing them how to can get fit without a gym, pretty much. So, yeah, I love it.
And that is another one of our great house heroes. I love that Matt stumbled onto his niche business plan because he couldn't bear being away from his young family. So I think maybe a near-death experience can help us all put things into perspective.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. One inspiring young man.
Yep.
But now let's go from the extraordinary to the ordinary. Have you ever stopped to think how long you sit in one day? Well, think about it. Eating breakfast at your work desk, in the car or the train, in front of the TV. That's a long time on your bottom.
Well, we think we're taking the weight off when we sit, but we're actually creating more stress than we realise. Here to help us get to the bottom of this problem, the lovely Anna-Louise Bouvier, super physio. Hello.
Hello.
Is this true? Is this a physio term? Dormant bottom syndrome?
I wish I'd thought of it. Some New Zealand physio thought of it. It's great, but it's so true.
All
the
right.
trouble is when we came out of the trees and, you know, we were apes and we had those little flat bottoms, well, when we started to walk on two legs, we started to use our gluteus maximus. That's this.
That's it. That's J-Lo's booty right
that's
there, isn't it?
And the trouble is, because we don't use it, it's disappearing, and so we're just not using our buttocks enough.
Okay.
Well, you alluded to it, but what is pikelet bottom?
So basically what happens, if you imagine this is deflating, so when you move around, when you have to exercise, when you have to go up in hills and do things like that, basically your buttocks are meant to drive it. If they don't work, what you'll end up with is muscles down the chain compensating. So you'll see hamstring issue, calf issues, adductor issues, plantar fasciitis, you know, all those things that so many elite athletes get. That's really, the secret to it is really in your bum.
Right hamstrings over here.
That's it.
Your little bony friend Gordon here is wasting away. How can we boost up the buttock region?
Well, look, it's the first thing is get off it.
Yes.
So that's kind of a really important thing, is to actually kind of move around during the day. The second thing you can do is you can actually do things during the day. So maybe if we grab a little chair, I'll show you what you can do.
Thanks, Georgia.
So just imagine, you know, you've been working at your desk, so have a seat, okay? And it's just what I call the hover. So basically, you know, you're about to get up and go and get yourself a cup of tea. Stop. Right? Put your hands on your buttocks. It's very important to get your own feedback going. And then you just go up and down and hover.
I'm not sitting down?
No,
Hovering.
just hover about it. So just go up and down about 6 times and you'll find it just fires up your glutes like you can't believe.
Feels pretty good though, I won't lie to you.
Well, yeah, my professional indemnity probably covers this, so I'll have a little feel too.
Right.
The second thing you can do, it's very nice. The second thing you can do is this great thing that I call bottom walking. Now, you'll see when, you know, if you walk around the streets, you'll often see people kind of walking like this, right?
Yeah.
Now, all you need to do to actually fire up your glutes is this. So if you stand here for me.
Okay.
All right? And so one of the simplest things you can do is just when you're walking is you just make sure that you keep your eyes up and your chest forward. And then take a step with your left heel and as you hit the ground, contract your buttock. And now push yourself forward. That's a lovely buttock. And then you go forward and you just contract alternate buttocks and you'll find...
I wasn't going to mention it, but you brought it up, so there we go. So
That's
walk,
very good.
but it's a little bit like the silly walk of John Cleese.
Well, you just have to go a little bit soft as you walk, and you'll just find it's more kind of that you just power it up one buttock after another.
I won't. But you did that beautifully.
Thank you so much. So important points here, okay? To avoid dormant bottom syndrome.
Yes.
We need to exercise. We need to think of things we can do at our desk, right?
Good.
Okay. Get off your butt regularly.
Totally. Yeah. So get off your bottom, desk, like hover, do your hovers, and bottom walk when you can.
Alrighty. We also need to do that strange bottom walk. What do we call that?
That's right. Well, it's just the alternate bottom walk. So you just contract alternate buttocks. And the other simple thing you can do is just always look for stairs, go upstairs 2 at a time, things like that. So things that sort of encourage you to use a bit more power.
Incidental exercise.
Think bootylicious.
Yeah,
that's the way to go. Thank you. Thanks, Gordon. I feel great. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks, Anna-Louise.
You do feel great.
Yeah. More to come after this.
Coming up, Gerald Quigley is back and he will have answers for all your questions.
And next, a flavoured milk drink full of goodness. We'll be back after the break on the House of Wellness. Well, that is nutritious and delicious, and thanks again to Zoe Bingley-Pullin for that scrumptious recipe.
It looks absolutely delicious, and I'm also told it's a wonderful after-dinner drink. It aids digestion and helps support cholesterol levels.
All right, yum-o on all fronts. Now, it's time for your calls once more. 1800 469 788 to get through to Gerald. We have Susan standing by in Balmain in New South Wales.
I have a wound that I'm finding difficult to heal, and I'm wondering what is the best process about doing that.
So what could ramp up the body's healing and immune systems?
And important to heal it because these things can ulcerate quickly, Ed. Externally, Susan, Manuka honey. New Zealand Manuka honey's got great evidence showing it destroys troublesome bugs.
Right.
And from inside, an amino acid called arginine, and that heals from inside. So outside, inside.
But with the honey, we're putting it on our toast, we're putting it on the wound? What do you mean?
Look, it's not the most pleasant to have on toast, but you can. But this specific extract of honey does make a difference.
All right. We have an email from Sandy, who's written in from Newport in New South Wales. I suffer terribly from bad breath and have tried nasal irrigation and commercial isotonic solutions. What next?
The nasal irrigation is important, but it's digestion. So this is a gut-related thing. The digestive process is not working properly. Probiotics, very important. Digestive enzymes, freely available. But it's Lactobacillus, Bifidobacter are the two probiotics, and digestive enzymes.
Okay.
And Gerald, does a tongue scraper actually work?
Yeah, well, look, it's a good process, or just a toothbrush. But clearing, that's usually one of the signs we look for, that a coated tongue not only causes bad breath, but it's a sign of what's happening down in here.
It feels strange though, doesn't it? On the phone we have Antoinette standing by in Port Douglas. Let's come to you now.
What is the best thing my husband can take? He's got tinnitus pretty bad and he wants to know what he can take to help him get through it.
Oh, the tinnitus, the ringing of the ears.
Ringing noises, sometimes hissing, sometimes little bells. There's a specific extract of ginkgo biloba with the letters EGB and the numbers 761. EGB, that's an extract with clinical evidence to show how effective it is in reducing the noise of tinnitus.
Okay, and stay away from all those loud rock concerts that she's probably attending.
There's an epidemic of this coming because everyone wears iPads and
absolutely. All right, hope that advice helps you out. Next up, we have an email from Nita in Camden in New South Wales. She says, I'm 69 and have stopped taking hormone replacement therapy after taking it for years. However, now I get hot flushes, leg cramps and interrupted sleep. Would it be so bad to go back on it, she asks?
That's a discussion, Nita, you have with your GP because you've got to weigh up risks and benefits. The herb of choice, black cohosh. For heat, the herb is sage and magnesium at night to help restful sleep. It's a stress-related thing which causes hormone imbalances. That's the problem.
Right. And we're fascinated about the weight loss that we learnt earlier in the show with Joe. Any other options from your herbal side?
There's not a lot of evidence to show that adding herbs makes a difference, but there has been some work done on green tea. So drinking green tea and using a green tea supplement does actually seem to just accelerate the whole metabolic process.
Ooh, I like that.
And breathe harder.
Breathe, yes, don't forget to breathe.
All right, fantastic stuff. Now, if you have a question for Gerald, you can contact him via our website. There's many ways to reach our favourite pharmacist, houseofwellness.com.au. There's an Ask tab there.
Or you can call us on 1800 469 788.
And don't forget our Facebook page. This is wonderful. Loads of great info there via Facey. You can check that out, the House of Wellness as well.
Coming up, the latest in tech design to make you look beautiful.
And next up, we look into vitamins and how they work best for you.
They improve our metabolic function. It's very useful for our immune system.
We'll see you back here right after the break.
For as long as humans have been hungry, we know that we have to eat food to make us strong, healthy and fit. But it's taken us thousands of years to actually realise it's the macro and micronutrients within our food that makes all life possible, especially when it comes to the discovery of something we all take for granted these days, vitamins.
Understanding the intrinsic effect vitamin nutrition has on our lives has been a very long work in progress. The ancient Egyptians knew that feeding liver to a person may help with night blindness, but they had no idea why. Finally, in 1912, Polish-American biochemist Kashmir Funk discovered that there were certain nutrients in our foods that were essential to good health in humans. He called them vitamins.
So the word vitamin actually comes from the Latin word vita, which simply means life.
Dr. David Giaan is our program resident naturopath and natural health guru. When it comes to vitamins, there's not too much he doesn't know about.
So, Dr. David, what actually is a vitamin?
Well, first of all, vitamins are what we call micronutrients, and we need them for a normal, healthy, functioning metabolism. So what they do is they improve our metabolic function. It's very useful for our immune system, and then we know it's also very beneficial for our gums. So they all have some level of therapeutic benefit in our body. We know that vitamin A, for argument's sake, is very useful for our eyes, vitamin D for our bones. What the discovery of vitamins has done for us is it's helped us understand that we need more from our food than just consuming it for the sake of consuming it, so that food had a nutritional value.
With the world's first vitamin pill mass market in Switzerland in 1935, manufactured supplements only emerged in Australia after World War II. Fast forward to 2018, with so much processed food being created to feed our growing population, it's no surprise that a recent government study found that only 5.5% of Australian adults had an adequate daily intake of fruit and vegetables. The result of this is that 42% of Australians over the age of 14 use vitamin supplements as nutritional insurance. With just under half of all Australians using vitamins in their diet, it's important to know what makes a good vitamin.
There's no question that eating a good quality, unprocessed diet is the cornerstone of good health. But people with allergies, elderly or pregnant women, in my opinion, would really benefit from taking a daily vitamin. But the emphasis is on good quality vitamins.
The team at Nature's Care Vitamins know firsthand what it takes to ensure quality in their products. And according to General Manager Scott Shaw, the purity of vitamin ingredients is what sets it apart from all the rest.
Quality is always the #1 priority. So our team of research and development people actually scour the world to find the latest ingredients.
In this day and age, what should people be looking for in a quality supplement?
I think they really should be looking at the raw material, where that comes from, the purity, the quality of that raw material, and obviously knowing the manufacturing process.
We've all seen the shelves stocked with vitamins, and this is where the magic happens. The unique thing in Australia is that we have such high standards of safety that you could almost guarantee supplements made in Australia are some of the best in the world.
And before you decide on a brand, you should do your research because the production process is important. Manufacturers like Nature's Care are unique within the industry because they handle the whole process from start to finish. From sourcing the raw product through to the manufacturing you can see here.
Well, there you have it. We've come a long way from squeezing liver juice into the eyes of people over thousands of years ago. But for me, I just get so excited to think this whole world of supplements is relatively new. Now, I know nothing replaces a well-balanced diet, but with the lifestyles we lead, I think it's really exciting that we've got this as an option.
I definitely think it's exciting that we've got this as an option. And Zoe joins us now. Now, Zoe, for me, as a nutritionist, what is the best way to use vitamins in your overall diet?
Look, as the story points out, it's such a small percentage of people who are getting the adequate, sustainable form of diet. So for me, supplements are very much important because they're that add-in value that we can add to our diet. Quality, quality, quality. You need to do the research. You need to look at what is actually missing and overall get the correct advice. I think it's best not to just start randomly picking a product. Look at what could possibly be your nutritional deficiency and then supplement with it. The other thing with supplements is that they're cumulative. It's really important that you need to take them correctly if you are going to take them, and they work over time. So many people, as we know, just sort of take them and they think it doesn't work. It's because they're not taking it correctly.
OK. Now, what does the future hold for vitamins? Are we going to become more reliant on them as the world progresses?
Look, I get really excited about this because I love the world of genetics, DNA, all of that element to it, because there are so many factors that influence what we are using our supplements for in our body. So personalised nutrition, I think, will be the big future. It will look at directly what are our deficiencies, what role our genes plays in that. I mean, I have something which is called an MTHRS gene, which means that I don't absorb folate correctly as well. So I then need to focus on something called methylation. So I've got to focus on B vitamins more. But that's my genes dictating that. So it's really exciting.
It is indeed.
I
Great
like
story.
that.
Thanks, Zoe.
Pleasure.
Next up, we head into a new world for us here on the House of Wellness, the combination of beauty and technology.
Joining us today to discuss how tech and beauty come together is Managing Editor of the House of Wellness magazine, Fiona Welsh.
Hi, Fiona.
Hello.
Hey, in the brand new House of Wellness magazine autumn edition on tech breakthroughs, some exciting news in both medicine and beauty. What have we learned?
There is some extraordinary breakthroughs happening in the medical world. A couple of the ones that we really noticed was the GPS tracking on shoes, which is great. When you think about like elderly people, falls, that sort of thing, this is just going to be a game changer, I think, for that sort of thing. Even for people going hiking, you can wear this actual shoes, tracks what you're doing, where you're going, and alerts people to what happens if, in case you do have that fall.
That is incredible. All right, love this techie stuff. What else?
Cancer detecting pens are actually now coming out, and they're actually going to be able to speed up the amount of cancer detection by 150 times, which is extraordinary to think that we're able to do that. There are so many new breakthroughs going on in the cancer area, and it's fantastic to see.
A lot of breakthroughs in the medical technology sphere. What about my favourite sphere, the beauty sphere? What about our tech advances there, Fiona?
Of course, yes. Look, one of the big ones happening at the moment is the All-A Skin Advisor, and it's a online tool that helps you analyse your skin, and it tells you the age of your skin. And what it actually does is you take a selfie, which we're all very good at. You know, that's a very common thing to do. And then it actually compares your selfie against another 50,000 odd selfies that have been collected in the system, and it works out your good parts and your bad parts and just what you might need to help with your skincare regime. It's a terrific idea.
And you can do this from the privacy of your own home.
You can indeed, yes.
All right, next up, I feel like I want to wear this. Tell us about the Neutrogena Light Therapy Acne Treatment Mask.
Yeah, it's actually clinically proven to treat mild to moderate acne, and this one is actually, you put it on your face and you wear it like sunglasses in a way, and it can be used on all skin types, which is fantastic in that way. And it's a combination of blue and red LED light, and it does the blue light obviously targets the acne causing bacteria, and then the red light does the reduction in inflammation. So it's a at home again application that you can put on, and I believe you only have to put it on for like 10 minutes at a time, and then it will help you with your acne.
Does light up, doesn't it? Little disco going in there. Move on to this, the Fever Smart Temperature Monitor. Parents are going to love this.
Parents will love this idea. So for those children, particularly, there is something about seeing like a temperature thermometer coming towards you. And I guess for this, you simply, it's quite an easy thing to do. The application actually just sits beneath your arm, underneath your arm, and then you have an app on your phone and you can monitor the temperature of your child, and if it goes above 38 degrees, it will alert you, and they can sleep with it, and you can keep that monitoring process going throughout, and just, yeah, it's fantastic.
Don't know how you go with your little guy trying to get him to brush his teeth. They're going to love this high-tech toothbrush, the Oral-B Genius in rose gold, with some fabulous attachments too, Fiona.
Exactly. Look, it comes in, as you say, great packaging, looks terrific, but more importantly, it gives you that thorough clean. So it's going to monitor again how you're cleaning your teeth, where you might be missing spots, those zones that you know, the back of your mouth, those sorts of areas, and it will actually tell you whether you're doing a good clean or a bad clean. So it's quite a simple but effective way of looking after your dental health.
All right, and there's a few components to it, Fiona.
There are indeed.
What's the long, skinny one first?
The long, skinny one, that's actually the packaging. So you put your toothbrush in there, but it also has a charger on the bottom. So yeah, I know, and it looks great.
Okay, and then this.
And this is actually where you put it up against the mirror. It affixes to the mirror. You put your phone in there.
Oh, Fantastic.
And that's where you monitor your app to just keep an eye on it. And it has position detection, speed detection, all sorts of things. I think it's got some fun ways of encouraging your children to brush their teeth as well through the app.
Yeah,
so
they're going to love that.
It will, yeah.
All right, and a quickie before we go, the blood pressure monitor as well.
Yeah, so this one, it simply slips over your arm and, again, app-driven, so that you get the results through on your phone and you can keep an eye on how things are going with your blood pressure.
I love it. I love the tech. Thanks so much, Fiona. That is awesome stuff. Been great having you here. Now, in addition to the House of Wellness magazine put together by Fiona and her team, don't forget Sunday mornings you can catch us on the House of Wellness radio show.
On 6PR in Perth, 4BC in Brisbane, 2GB in Sydney, 5AA in Adelaide and 3AW in Melbourne.
Oh, and next week, make sure you get a copy of this month's House of Wellness Lift Out, and you can find it at your local Chemist Warehouse stores or in your favourite Sunday papers right across Australia.
There's a story on Lisa Wilkinson. There's also the lowdown on how the right eating choices can help slow down the ageing process, from collagen-stimulating foods to those with anti-ageing properties. Plus, we look at safe eating practices for pregnant women.
So, House of Wellness is everywhere, radio, print, online and right here on your TV. So stay with us. More after the break.
If you're after strong and healthy bones, stick around for the A to Z of vitamins. We'll show you how.
And next, we look at ways to communicate when dealing with cancer in the family. Stay with us here on the House of Wellness. Welcome back, everyone. According to the Cancer Council, there'll be an estimated 134,000 new cases of cancer diagnosed in Australia this year alone.
Now, although not all of those cases end in despair, coming face to face with this disease at any level is confronting for everyone, and many family members and friends will find it tricky to communicate their concern.
So to guide us through this sensitive time, we're joined by multi-award-winning life coach, author and two-time cancer survivor, Josie Thomson. Hi, Josie.
Hi.
Not once, but twice. You've survived with cancer. Tell us what that means.
Well, the first time was in 1991. I was 24 years old and no one in my family had ever had cancer.
Right.
So it was a bit of a shock, and in those days, believe it or not, the word cancer wasn't really heard of that often either. So I was the test case, and it was certainly an opportunity where I learned a lot about myself and about life and about health and well-being.
And the second time then?
2010, I was in the middle of my neuroscience studies and I was diagnosed with my own brain tumour.
Oh, goodness me.
Wow. Okay, well, this is a great question for you. I accompanied my friend to quite a few of her chemotherapy treatments when she was going through breast cancer. We used to talk very honestly about it, but a lot of people struggle with what to say when cancer is involved, don't they?
Well, the very word cancer can elicit a very strong threat response in people. And knowing what I know about the brain now, that puts us immediately into fight, flight, defend, protect and freeze mode. When that happens, we're not thinking straight. So we've got information coming at us from various sources, oftentimes competing and conflicting information. So the first thing that we need to do to manage ourselves and support others with a diagnosis with cancer is to literally, with my kids tell me, calm your farm. So literally keep your mind calm, so then you've got the clarity of mind to make some really critical decisions about how you approach your healing process.
Well, you probably got to write the textbook on it, didn't you, on how your friends should also approach you. What should we say in our attempt to offer support?
Well, what not to say is how are you? Because seriously, if you got the truth, you probably couldn't well, depends on obviously the relationship and the trust and rapport you have. But oftentimes we're mitigating what we say because we're wanting to protect other people about our, how we really feel. And fear is a huge trigger for us during these times. So instead of saying, how are you? A more effective way is to say something like, how can I best support you right now? What do you need?
And what usually is the best way to support someone who's going through this?
There's lots of different ways. There's not a one-size-fits-all. One thing that I noticed when it happened to me is that people stopped touching me. It was like, if I touch you, I'm going to catch cancer. And it's really quite a scary experience for the patient, let alone everybody else around them. So the thing that I would definitely say is don't stop touching. You know, it's so reassuring, and we have this innate need for comfort and connection with each other. The thing is, hugs can be very healing if they're freely given, not taken. So be really careful.
The power of a hug. Great info for anyone going through the cancer journey. And of course, if it's not affecting you, it's affecting someone you know, right? So some great tips. Focus on what you want and not what you don't want. I think we're taking that information away. Also offer reassuring touch and words of loving support, and give those hugs. Don't take them, and don't ask, how are you, but more, how can I help you out?
Great.
Yeah, terrific advice from a 2-time cancer survivor, and lovely to catch up with you today.
Thank you.
Josie Thomson there. We'll be back with a stack more here on the House of Wellness right after this. Welcome back. A to Z of Vitamins time. The wheel has spun and stopped on D. We're looking at vitamin D today, which I always assume you can get from the sun's rays.
You can, Ed, and in theory, living in Australia, we should all be very well levelled in vitamin D, but we're not. There's a lot of Australians with low levels. Often people don't find they have a low level until they break a bone, and then there's a test done, and goodness me, look at that, your vitamin D levels are low. There are children being born currently with 0 or incredibly low levels of D, and we need D for immune function. So when we're exposed to a virus, vitamin D helps the production of the T killer cells, which actually get onto destroying that infection.
So in fact, by being sun safe, we're actually becoming deficient in vitamin D.
And it's all about risk and benefit, isn't it, Giaan? That we experts are saying get out in the sun for 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day if you can, because that's the best source. But if you feel, or if you've had a test done and you're low, take a supplement. It's 1,000 units a day. Even with children, if you've got a child who's consistently catching colds and just not thriving, it could be related to vitamin D. So look at vitamin D containing foods like eggs and dairy and things like that, but also perhaps one of the child's strength supplements.
And I guess coming into winter now, it's something we might be more deficient in as we go along.
Yes, there's no doubt that our levels drop off in winter, so you may need to take a little more or have more eggs.
Thanks, GQ. Well, the A to Z of Vitamins is brought to us by Ostalin. For strong, healthy bones, choose Australia's #1 vitamin D brand. Ostalin Vitamin D and Vitamin D Calcium help support muscle function and may help to prevent osteoporosis. Discover the range today. Let's grab more of your calls right now. Standing by is a new dad on the line. Thomas is in Redbank Plains in Queensland. What's the problem?
We just recently had twins and we can't seem to get rid of the thrush. So then you could help us with.
Yeah, twin troubles there for sure.
It's an issue, Ed, and with twins and with feeding and the demands on the mum, because feeding twins isn't easy, there's a really issue with reinfection. So what you do is treat it carefully. Cleanliness really important, treating the nipple as well, because that's usually where the fungus comes from.
Alrighty, there we go. That is another week done and dusted on the House of Wellness. And of course, Gerald Quigley will be back next time. So if you've got a question for him or any of our experts on the show, head to our website, houseofwellness.com.au. We are here to help. We're done for this week on the House of Wellness. Thanks to you, Giaan, for being with us again.
Thank you, loved it.
And a big thanks to our friends at Chemist Warehouse as well. Take care, everybody. Hope you have a healthy and well week.